concerns that Forest and Bird as a society and an organisation raised with you a couple of weeks ago. And today I'm here to speak for those supporters who took the time to send their submissions through. Their submissions covered their concerns that the government's environmentally destructive fast-track approvals bill is the most extreme attack on nature in decades, that it would give three ministers sweeping powers to approve any bad development they want, no matter how damaging, that they could override environmental protections such as the Conservation Act, ignore the advice of their own expert panel and stop New Zealanders from having their say. So I'm going to speak to the very current example of Te Kuha on the west coast of the South Island as a proxy for the kind of example of what the New Zealand public are worried about. So my submission had 4 key points: that obviously the bill should be withdrawn, but if it was not, the following changes were needed. That A, we must keep current environmental protections; B, remove the ministerial override; C, protect New Zealanders' rights to public participation; and D, remove damaging projects that have already been declined. Te Kuha highlights the concerns about all of these. So with reference to the environment, Te Kuha, if you're not aware, is a bad project. It was rejected by the Environment Court because it would result in the loss of a unique forested boulder field, the likely cause of local extinctions of the forest ringlet butterfly and Helm's stag beetle, a couple of my favourite critters, and the loss of precious wetlands. The application was so bad that it had more than $200,000 in costs awarded against it by the Environment Court. If this was fast-tracked, the criteria are such that it would get approved. Economic benefits, no matter how small, trump the environment, no matter what the damage. It can't be right that projects that fail to get through a rigorous public court process can then be somehow approved by a fast-track process. Let's talk about ministerial override and ministerial involvement. So Minister Jones this week has shown that our concerns about ministerial override are justified. A letter released under the Official Information Act has shown that a Stevenson's mining executive had dinner with Minister Jones, and according to that mining executive, that Minister Jones recommended that he write to Minister Bishop to have failed in the court's project fast-tracked. Minister Jones had initially responded that that dinner was arranged at the last minute, and of course it was not recorded in his diary. Yeah, apparently it is now. It transpires that, according to Newsroom this week, today, not only was this dinner not arranged at the last minute, but that executives from other mining companies attended. This was not recorded in Minister Jones's diary when it should have been. So if Minister Jones can't even get a dinner right, how can we trust him with respect to decision-making on multi-billion-dollar projects in our most sensitive natural environments? Where are the checks and balances that must be had on behalf of the public? And when it comes to the public and participation, public scrutiny of projects like this is critical. The letter from Stevenson's contained important inaccuracies. So, for example, Stevenson's have asserted that resource consents and land access arrangements were granted or almost granted in the letter to Ministers Bishop and Jones, and this is incorrect. The land access to conservation land was declined by the minister, and this was the cause of the delay. Stevenson's alleged that the delay in the resource consent was caused by Forest and Bird appeal under NPSFM regulations, also inaccurate. The appeal was not under the provisions.
We have about 25 seconds left.
That's fine, thank you. And the delay was because Stevenson's asked the appeal be adjourned after they were refused access to that land. So without public participation, decision makers will be making decisions based on inaccurate or incomplete information. This bill takes Aotearoa down the wrong track, and New Zealanders have come out in their thousands to make their opposition to this bill.
Just kind of bring it to an end. It's our 5 minutes.